you this. Do you feel like you're boxing royalty? Because you're a Mayweather, you are part of the Mayweather's royalty
Well, I mean,
position.
I don't feel that way.
You
no,
don't?
No, I don't feel that way. I mean, I feel I'm just like everyone else, but of course, you know, it's kind of, I can't say it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it does entail the fact that, you know, you have people that, you know, when they do see you, you know, some people seem like they freak out. Then you have other people that, you know, just, I mean, it's a good feeling. I mean, to, you know, for somebody to acknowledge you and what you do. So, I mean, I feel good about that. But at the same time, I mean, I don't look at it as me being royalty or me being better than anyone. You know,
Well, not that you're better than, but I think the Mayweathers are definite boxing royalty. I think we, the boxing people, those of us who are in the boxing business, and and the fans, and all of the people who comprise the boxing family, I think see the Mayweathers as boxing royalty.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not naive to that fact either.
You're not naive to the fact that people think that.
Yeah. I mean, I know that. I know that we're the first family of boxing.
Absolutely.
I know that without a doubt. You know, because I mean, the level of success that we've all had on different levels. So I mean, I understand that. I understand that part of it as well. But you know, like I said, I mean, I'm a very humble person, and I don't get caught up in that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you: do you feel that because you're a Mayweather, you have your share of haters, like you inherited some haters?
Well, I know, you know what's funny is that it's the complete opposite way for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everyone loves me, but they hate my brothers and my nephew. You know, I mean, anytime, it even be people that they feel comfortable enough to tell me that.
To tell you that they hate Floyd?
Yeah, you know, and then, but you're great. And I'm like
I hate Floyd,
but I'm not feeling that. You know, don't get me wrong, and that's what I get. I get the fact that, you know, that's why I'm considered the quiet Mayweather, the different Mayweather, you know, the smart Mayweather. Whatever the case, there's always something positive said about me, as opposed to, you know, something being said about Floyd or Floyd Sr. or even Roger. So, I mean, I take that with a grain of salt as well, because I know who I am. I just am, you know, I am who I am.
It seems that De La Hoya has managed to position himself with a Mayweather.
On every level.
On every level. He fought you. He fought your nephew, Floyd Jr. Your brother, Floyd Sr. was his trainer for about 7 years, right? Okay. Yeah. Something like that. So what I really want to know, and so many people want to know, if your brother, Floyd Sr., had actually been in the corner of Oscar De La Hoya when he fought Floyd Jr., in your opinion, would the fight have gone a different way?
No.
Even with him in the corner, it would have been the same?
No. Wouldn't have went no different.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the fight really wasn't even a split decision. I mean, Floyd won 8 out of 12 rounds. And because of Oscar's popularity, they made it a split decision. So, I mean, realistically, you know, I mean, I don't know what would have been different, because it's almost like, you know, you taught your son everything you can, and basically, and like I said, at the end of the day, it's one of those situations in which you're a father, you're the father of this child. You don't want to, after the end of the day, the decision where your son, you know, loses.
And you were in the corner.
And you have to deal with that for the rest of your life, because that's a situation in which it could actually change you guys' life forever.
You're absolutely right.
You know, because your son could probably hold that against you forever, and you know, you guys would never speak. There'll be hatred, you know, and dislike, and only because of that reason in itself. So, I mean, Floyd Sr. did the right thing by walking away from it.
Do you think his Floyd Jr. knew that that's probably the decision that his dad would make?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he really, but I just think that it was one of those things that, I mean, no matter what, if his dad was going to be a part of that situation or not, it was a fight that he wanted. He wanted that fight a long time. So when the opportunity presented itself, he took it.
You know, I can still see the look on Floyd's face when they announced the card, the decision. The first one that they announced was for De La Hoya. I can still see Floyd's face is though, what fight did they see?
Right.
And I don't know how he must have felt, but I think he may have felt that, wow, they're about to rob me, because, you know, they're robbed sometimes.
Right. You know, it happens.
And I was so relieved when he wasn't robbed of that. I was so relieved.
I guess to me, realistically, even though they said, you know, the De La Hoya thing first, I thought that was their way of just basically, you know, keeping everyone in suspense, because there was no way Floyd lost the fight. And at the same time, you had, you know, boxing is a business, and Floyd had become the attraction. De La Hoya was on the downside, going the other way. And so, I mean, once it gets to that point, when you have a star in the making, sometimes things go the way they're supposed
And
to.
they will go as they should go,
Right.
rather than being robbed.
Right.
Let me ask you this, that Guerrero, the dad. Now, I had people, let me tell you, my daughter Ava said, Mom, I'm telling you, I want to be ringside for the dads. She says, give me a ticket to the dads. No. We're like, she says, Mom, I want to see the dads fight.
Right.
What? Okay. If the dads had fought.
That's not even, I mean, that's not even worth talking about.
And I told my daughter, I said, nobody's
mean,
going to sanction that.
Well, first of all, I mean, nobody should pay to see them. Like, they can talk all the trash they want to.
She would pay.
No, don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, people would pay.
What I'm saying is this.
Okay.
Once you look up Robert Guerrero's dad's record,
Okay.
he was like, he had 6 fights. He's knocked out 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
So, and lost every single one. So basically, I mean, realistically, would it even really be a fight? I mean, he was up there showing off doing damn push-ups. That don't mean nothing.
That was so funny.
He made a complete fool out of himself.
Funny.
I mean, wearing the same clothes the whole.
It was so.
The whole time doing any event, he had that same shirt on, that stupid looking hat, looking like Cheech and Chong.
Oh, God.
You know, I mean,
it was so funny when my daughter kept saying, Mom, you know I want to see Floyd, but I would pay to see the dads. She said, I really want to see the dads.
Right.
But let me ask you this now, too. Canelo. I think people are shocked that the Canelo fight is happening, first of all.
Not really. Because the thing is this. Now, Floyd has got to that point where now he's finally matured. He's matured, and now the fans are accepting him. It was kind of like Muhammad Ali. They hated him.
Oh my gosh.
They hated him so bad, and then eventually, once he got beat, and they realized that he was human, you know, and that he wasn't, you know, the things that he was saying that, you know, he's chosen by God and this, that, the crap that Guerrero tried to use, you know, and whatever made him special. Because, I mean, the guy, he did make, you know, a lot of predictions, and they came true just as he said them. So it did made him seem like, you know,
he was invincible, huh?
Yeah, this dude is something different about him than anybody else. But, you know, once they realized that he was human just like everyone else, and then people decided, you know, then they started to embrace him because they realized that. Because a lot of times that's what happens when a person that they do this all the time, and then when they finally get beat, you no longer have a reason to hate them. You know, and that's not the case with Floyd, but I think what it is that Floyd has finally showed his maturity, you know, and it ain't about trying to out-talk this person anymore. Just like when the dads was acting the fool, Floyd said, look, chill. You know,
I was amazed by that, yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's what people, they didn't expect that, you know. And so, like I said, I mean, Floyd, he's 36 years old now. You got to grow up sometime.
Well, do you feel that the hype that this fight is getting, do you feel that the Pacquiao fight would have gotten as much hype as this?
Got way more.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm talking about when it was.
Yes, when everybody wanted it.
Yeah, when everybody
wanted it.
I mean, that would have been the biggest fight in the history of boxing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I want to be clear, and I know you're clear, that Floyd was never the one himself who was afraid to take the fight.
Oh, of course not.
I mean, I've had
to... the thing is this. Pacquiao's highest payday was, I think, may have been 20 million. Maybe. And I'm not sure of that. It might have been 15. But when somebody offered you 40 million and you turn it down and you never seen that kind of money, I mean, it don't necessarily mean that you're afraid, because at the time he probably thought that, that they were equal and that he should be 50-50, but it's not 50-50 when you have one guy that's, been champion of the world for 16 years and also been dominant in the sport, never lost.
Absolutely.
And, been on top of the sport from the time you stepped into the game and still at the top. And then not only that, he does way more numbers with the pay-per-view buys, so.
I've actually had to argue with people, and I do not argue. I've had to talk firmly with people about that when they, when they're in my face trying to say that, because I'm so passionate about boxing. I couldn't allow them to say that he was afraid, because you would think he was my little brother. I go to battle. My daughter will tell you I go to battle.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Start talking about Floyd. Yeah. Oh no, you're gonna have a problem with me.
Right.
A real problem. But with the Canelo fight, one of the things that I think people are a little surprised about is the catch weight of 150. What do you think? No, 152.
They're surprised because the fact that, but what they don't realize is that Canelo chose that.
Exactly, that's another thing.
Floyd didn't choose it.
That Floyd didn't choose it at all.
But the thing is, behind the scenes is this, is that, he felt that, I don't know, that's the only way the fight probably would happen. And so, realistically, it doesn't matter, because 2 pounds is nothing. 152, you fight at 154, so realistically you're not doing nothing. The only thing is this, that behind the scenes, if he don't make the weight,
that's what I'm thinking.
He's going to be penalized real heavy.
But no matter how heavily he's penalized, though, Jeff, don't you think that he may come into the ring with a lot more extra weight?
Don't get me wrong. Automatically he will because of the fact that that's just his body makeup. Because he's a guy that probably walks around at close to 180 pounds.
Wow.
And because of that, he's going to come in. He's going to come in probably about, at the lowest, he's going to come in probably about 165.
And is that going to be a problem?
No. Skills win fights.
Well,
weight doesn't win fight.
That's true. That's true.
Floyd's really a 140 pounder. Even right now, he's a 140 pounder. He's not a 147 pounder. And he's won the 154 pound title twice. And in both times, he was way under the weight limit. He fought De La Hoya at 49. He fought Cotto at 47.
So you're not concerned then about the weight?
No.
So that's good.
No, like I said, Floyd has too much skills. He has weight. He's way faster than Canelo. Canelo's flat-footed, and not only that, Canelo gets tired.
But don't you think, given Floyd's stature in the business, he is boxing right now, don't you think he could have said, look, we're going to fight at 147?
Oh yeah, of course he could have.
So I wonder why he didn't just.
Well, I think, I think Floyd is embracing the fans. He's embracing the fact of, that he is the best fighter in the world, and he's not. And that's one thing that he always said, that I'm not gonna, if a guy want to fight me, we're gonna fight at that weight class. I'm not gonna make, no demands like Pacquiao, that this guy trained himself to fight me. And so basically, I think that, that's, Floyd should be applauded for that. Because he's changing. Like I said, he's changing. He's changing and he's maturing, and that's the one thing that's part of his maturity, is the fact that he's going to get the people what they want to see. Without having, asterisk, being a part of the event itself, because, Canelo's the one that said he'll fight at 52. Floyd didn't say you got to come down to 152.